Thank you for taking the time to talk to me about your upcoming presentation at the 43rd International Battery Seminar, an exhibition taking place March 23rd to 26th in Orlando. You'll be speaking within the military and aerospace track on domestic manufacturing of lithium-ion battery cells and packs for UAS applications. I wanted to ask you a few questions about your presentation, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. My first question is, what makes the Badland battery cell plant different than other battery cell plants currently being built around the country? What sets this facility apart from the rest?
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy to share a bit about my presentation and specifically answer this question. So, most of the batteries factory being built in US today are focused on EV. At Badland Batteries, we're doing something really different. We're building a facility that specifically design and manufacture battery cells for drone and US platforms. So drone and drone system have very different requirements. Some they need batteries that are lightweight, deliver high bursts of power, and remain reliable in demanding environments. So another key differentiate is that our supply chain strategy. So many battery manufacturers still relying on material that's sourcing from foreign entity of concerns with creating compliance challenge. With updated NEA requirement this year. So our goal here is to source materials from domestic and allied partners, so that allowing us to produce one of the first full NEA compliant battery solutions, specifically designed for drones in the United States.
Yeah, that's great. What are some of your inherent challenges in building battery cells specific to UAS and drones?
Yeah, absolutely. Building the battery cell plant is no joke. So it is a massive undertaking that takes years of planning, investment, and coordinations. So one of the challenges is that the battery industry evolving very quickly. I would say daily, monthly. So you have to design a factory that could adapt to the future technology and new battery chemistry. So that is on the design side. Another challenge that we facing also selecting the right battery technology for drone applications, because different drones, having different priorities. So some need a very long flight time, so they require not much of power, but high density. Some other require very high power output, and some require both balancing. So that challenge to select which one to go with. On the top of that, you mentioned, very complex equipment, raw material supply chains, and regulatory requirements. And the regulatory requirement piece can be very different from stage to stage. So bring all these pieces together that make building about the battery facility both challenging but also exciting.
No, that's great. What do you see is on the horizon in for drone battery technology? How does Badland playing a part in that horizon, in that future?
Yeah, for sure. The battery technology evolving really, really rapidly. So we're seeing a constant progress in new materials, new chemistry, and more advanced manufacturing techniques that can make the battery lighter, safer, and more powerful for sure. So at Badland Batteries, we believe innovation had to be continuous. So that's why our facility included a dedicated R&D center alongside with the manufacturing operation, so that we can be able to develop new things. So this, with this R&D center, we are pushing forward the new generation of battery technology, while also producing the battery for today's drone platform. So by combining, the R&D with the manufacturing in that hand in hand, we can move new innovation from concept to real world development much faster, a lot faster than the others are doing. So, and that to sum up, drones are becoming a critical tools in the defense and public safety nowadays. But their performance, it really depends on the battery, that the battery deciding everything there. So, and important on the top that NDA compliance on the battery supply chains, and for drones, it's another hurdles that every one of us need to get through. So, we're building something that any compliance and domestically, so that going to help in the U.S. strengthen the leadership, position and the supply chain security.
No, that's great. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of nuances. There's a lot of really exciting things going on in that space. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your presentation in Orlando. Thank you very much for speaking with us, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
Well, thank you very much. I look forward to see all of you, and I'm willing to share all you detail about this one at the IBSE this year on March 24.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.